Today, I want to talk to you about a very interesting time in music history, the Romantic era. Specifically, I want to talk about Giuseppe Verdi's Rigoletto Act 3. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. Act 3 by Giuseppe Verdi, who is arguably the greatest Italian Romantic composer. Uh, spec- Starting from the Romantic period, to give some background. Two very interesting things about the Romantic era is first the detachment of music from just using sound as the main medium. This all began in 1800s Europe with the Age of Enlightenment, with the French Revolution and industrialization, which advocated the society as a whole and appeal to logic and science over anything else. The Romantic era was basically an opposition to that idea. It believed in individualism and the act of embracing your emotions. The participants in the Romantic movement mostly included people from the arts, music, literature, and each had their own way of conveying that message. But when it comes to music, the most popular medium was the romantic operas. This was because in the Romantic period, the Romantic composers at the time wanted to connect to other arts, and operas basically is use the three big arts: literature, visual arts, and music, and it combines those three to make it, I guess. So this is where Giuseppe Verdi comes in. It was a man making a name for himself in the famous Las La Scala Opera House, and also he was making a name for himself in the Italian liberation movement after he finished his music studies in Milan. At this time, he made three big immediate hits: Rigoletto, Il Trovatore, and La Traviata. His style of opera was called the bel canto, or the beautiful singing, which mainly used the human voice as the main player in any opera, and it always put the instruments out as support, or they just weren't there in the first place. Of his three famous works, I love Rigoletto. It's my favorite, and not only because it's very catchy and fun to watch, but also because the way the melodies and text and the rest of the opera just come together and subtly convey so many messages without being too tacky is and the opera being so freeing, it feels like a breeze instead of like a huge gust of wind. For example, in the first strophe of the third act, a character, the Duke, sings about the fickleness of women and how they are unreliable, how they're always changing emotions here and there. He ends that strophe with long, sustained high notes conveying on himself, and that those notes amplify the feeling of like when you watch the character sing those notes, it amplifies the feeling of how self-centered the character is on himself and how little he cares about everyone else. Thank you so much for your time.